So hello guys, and welcome to another video, and Mario & Luigi Brothership looks absolutely amazing. And so far, there seems to be a lot of charm and creativity in this game. But one thing that I was kind of wondering about is how the story will play out, because it seems like there will be quite a lot of different elements here, because there's a big theme around connections and electricity. So I wanted to see how they were going to approach that exactly. From what we've seen, it looks like it's going to be pretty interesting. So in this video, I wanted to discuss what I think will likely happen in the story based on what we know so far. It might be very different because we still don't know too many details. It's still kind of vague, but I have noticed some interesting things here. But I first want to talk about some observations. Like, how did Mario and Luigi even get to Concordia? So, we saw a portal in the trailer that was forming based on magical energy that was coming out of their hands. And the Japanese website describes it in a way that they were suddenly sucked into the portal randomly. I think it's likely that someone from Concordia created the portal. It's possible that either Connie or Snoutlet sent them there, but they didn't know how to send them back, which is why Connie was saying that they'll send Mario and Luigi back eventually if they find a way. But it could also be some unknown character as well, which is why Connie didn't know how to send them back. So it could be some character that is working with the protagonists that is unknown. Because there are characters like that in the Mario & Luigi series that aren't, like, revealed until later, so it might be an unknown character as well, but I do think it's still likely that it could have been Connie or Snoutlet, because they needed Mario & Luigi's help. And one thing that I don't really think it is the villains, since they really wouldn't have any reason to bring Mario and Luigi there. It's not like Super Paper Mario, where like, they knew about, like, the prophesized heroes, and they knew about, like, all of that. I feel like it's not necessarily the case, because they wouldn't really need a reason to bring Mario and Luigi there. So, yeah, I don't really think that's the case. But another interesting thing is that the portal could have formed from Mario and Luigi's hands because they have Firebrand and Thunderhand, so those abilities could possibly have some significance in the story, like with the spirits that you get them from in Superstar Saga. So maybe there's some significance there, maybe that's why everything happened like this in the first place. So another thing that I wanted to talk about is what exactly is happening in Concordia. So many of the friendly NPCs we've seen so far look like outlets, while the villains, such as the Extension Core and some of the enemies, look like plugs, kind of creating a contrast. And interestingly, the main villain neither looks like an outlet nor a plug, but also has red and green wires in his design, and also has wire cutters in his design, which might be very significant. So I think that's pretty interesting, because he kind of seems separate from that contrast between, like, the NPCs and a lot of the enemies. And Connie is also interesting, since she's basically the opposite of the villain, since she's a mixture of both the outlets and the plugs, since she has, like, she's basically kind of like the outlet NPCs, but also has, like, a plug-like thing on her head. So I think she might be pretty significant in the story because of that, and she's probably, like, one of the characters that is able to stop the villain and has to work with Mario and Luigi. And another interesting thing is the fact that her name is a pun on connection, which I also think probably means that she's going to be significant in the story. So I'm seeing a lot of interesting things here. Like, we're seeing that, like, the protagonists are about making connections, and the villains are about breaking connections. And there's also the contrast between the two different, like, types of characters here, with the plugs and the outlets. So it's pretty interesting, and I think the story is going to have to do a lot with connection, and especially the connection between Mario and Luigi, which is why Mario and Luigi are so important in this story. And basically, what I think will happen with this story is that originally the outlets and the plugs used to live peacefully in Concordia, but the villain then severed their connection in order to gain power and take over Concordia, and basically brainwash the plugs and use them as his minions. And I feel like Connie is the key to connecting Concordia again. She directly contrasts the villain because she represents a plug connecting to an outlet, since she has both elements in her design, rather than two separated cords like the villain. And Mario and Luigi are somehow the only ones that can defeat this villain, since there might have been some kind of prophecy that the villain had to be defeated by a connected red and green duo, which matched the red and green wires on the villain. So Connie and Snoutlet could have created the portal that led to them, but didn't know how to send them back. And the characters from the Mushroom Kingdom also get sucked in. And Connie also assists them in some way, and Snoutlet also offers them some new abilities. So Princess Peach will either get sucked into the portal, or will willingly go into the portal searching for Mario and Luigi, and then will eventually assist them. In Bowser, I feel like he'll willingly go through the portal in order to try to kidnap Peach, and also find a way to take over Concordia. And he'll likely have a similar role to how he did in Thousand Year Door, where he just butts himself in and doesn't really need to be there. He just kind of is a bit selfish and wants to make it about him. So I feel like there might also be some kind of MacGuffin involved, which is why you have to travel to each of the islands. Maybe it's about making connections, maybe it's a wire that you have to plug in, maybe it's a special object that you have to find, or maybe it's something to power the boat the boat island that's moving around so you can get the other islands and make progress. So it might be something like that, so it might be pretty significant to the story. It might even be something that the villain used to sever the connections, or something that the villain did that Mario and Luigi have to restore. So we'll have to see. But basically that's my thoughts on the story so far. It might be very different from what I'm thinking, but this is basically what I'm thinking based on what we've seen so far with the NPCs, some of the designs, in some of the things that were playing out in the trailers, and some of the footage that we have so far. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more, and make sure to check out my Discord server and Twitter if you want to. Goodbye.